Welcome to Downshift, my name is Matt. This is the BMW X7, BMW's big three-row SUV that you could consider the flagship depending on how you feel about the XM. Last year it got a refresh and it's very, very good. However, nothing's perfect, so we're hitting the highlights, the best and the rest, starting with the rest. So thanks to our friends at International BMW for making this video possible. The first point is that this is a little cheeky, but it is the most expensive of the main three German rivals. The X7 here starts at $81,900, while the Q7 starts at as little as $59,200. But here's the petty thing that Mercedes did with their GLS. I'll remind you, this X7 starts at $81,900, and the GLS starts at $81,800. So yeah, $100 less. Super petty. But yes, the X7 is the most expensive here technically, but the Q7 is ancient at this point, and the Mercedes is just being a little cheeky. And to be honest, I'll take X7 over GLS. Number two, and really the only other thing I can ding this X7 on, is the fact that the third row isn't huge. It's not like it's uninhabitable. In fact, it's pretty nice. You can even get your own dedicated sunroof for the third row, which you can't in the Audi or Mercedes. However, the third row is not exactly for adults, at least not 6-foot adults. But that's it. Marginally more expensive than a Benz, and a slightly tight third row. Really the only places I could find dings. So let's talk about some of the great stuff going on. Number one is, this is the driving machine. I've driven about as many three-row SUVs in my years doing car reviews as I care to mention. This X7 is almost certainly the best one to drive. You get air suspension as standard, so the ride is super comfortable, and you can also adjust the height to make it easier to get in and out and load stuff in the trunk. The air suspension actually also helps with fuel economy as well. The glass is laid out really well, so visibility is excellent. You have plenty of power from the B58. The steering is nice and light, but it can heft up in sport mode if you wanted to. The driver assist suite here is super comprehensive, to say the least, and you can option active comfort drive with road preview if you want. I mean, every day when you're just driving around town, it feels great because it's just drives a lot smaller than it actually is. And then if you want to push it, you've got a great engine here. If you do need a little bit more zip, there is the M60 version of this with the S68M engine. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Number two, we're going to talk engine options. Like I said, this is the base xDrive 40i version. That means you get the legendary B58 that I can't say enough good things about. Here it's making 375 horsepower and 395 pound-feet, so more of a torquey tune than we've seen in things like the M340i. This also has a 48-volt mild hybrid system to improve efficiency to 22 mpg combined, and it'll get that while it launches itself 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds from time to time. It's a wonderful engine and I have no complaints at all, though the X7 does start to seem a bit heavy and big if you really want to wring its neck. If you do want to wring its neck, then you probably want to upgrade to the M60 version of the X7, which gets you the S68 4.4 twin-turbo V8 that we're familiar with. It's detuned a bit to 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet, and that thing is good for 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds according to BMW. And keep in mind, these 0 to 60 times are conservative based on what people are getting in the real world. But of course, there's a fuel economy penalty for all that power and V8 Fury, and that's 18 mpg combined. And then there's an Alpina XB7, but I think that's a different video entirely. Overall, each of the powertrains here is brilliant. I have no problems with it, and to be honest, no one's really touching BMW with their powertrains these days. Next thing we'll talk about is towing. Now, I was super impressed when I found out, but you can max out your towing capacity on your X7 at 7,500 pounds. That's a lot. Number four, we'll talk about design. Now, generally speaking, it's hard to make a big three-row SUV look cool or interesting. And we all know the controversy that BMW exterior designers have fallen under in the last few years. And still, we managed to have a pretty handsome SUV here. I personally love this Blue Ridge Mountain metallic paint here, especially in direct midday sun. It has so much dimension and the color is fantastic. The facelift last year updated the headlights to a split running light design, your lower fascia gets a little update as well, and your active kidney grille stays largely the same, but you can option a light up grille, but I wouldn't. And then around the side we have the 7 Ys wheels, which are very classy, and we have a chrome hockey stick running the lower door, and matching chrome window treatments. You get a nice Hofmeister kink at the back, and then all the way around the back you have updated taillights with subtle detailing. You've got dual exhaust and a split opening tailgate. Love it. Now, I won't go so far as to say that it's better looking than an X5, but it's definitely better looking than a Q7, and depending on spec, this is better than looking than a GLS. Not bad. And number 5, we're going to talk interior details, and surprise, surprise, your big, expensive flagship BMW SUV has a pretty nice interior. You're swaddled in supple leathers, real woods, fancy alloys, your air vent toggles are weirdly satisfying to use, and all the ambient lighting and stitching to add contrast and drama. And my favorite little detail of the X7 is right here on the dash, and it's this weird illuminated decal. It says X7 on the front. It's just kind of cool. And number 6, we're going to talk about the second row. Now, you can get your X7 in either a 6-seat or a 7-seat configuration. Personally, I like the captain chair's configuration, but the bench here is just fine too. Either way, you get great space and great amenities. You've got pockets, chargers, mounts for iPads and things, you've got shades, you've got heated seats, you've got a panoramic roof, which you can get embedded with a little LEDs like a Rolls Royce. I mean, it's seriously nice back here. And number 7, we're going to talk about all of the goodies that you get up here. Your tech stack is super robust, which won't surprise anyone. You get the new iDrive 8 system, which I really like. The graphics and animations are excellent. You can add individual widgets to your home screen, you know, like your phone. And you have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have awesome 360 cameras, reverse assist breadcrumbs, a drive recorder, a comprehensive driver assist suite, which is very good. And you've got voice assistants, which personally I'd never use, but you've got great Harman Kardon here as well, and you can upgrade to a Bowers system. And then all these things are complemented by seriously luxe touches like heated and cooled seats, massage seats, heated armrest, heated and cooled cup holders. I honestly can't think of anything you can't get on an X7. So that's the best and the rest of the BMW X7. It is the most complete, best driving 3-row SUV I think I've probably ever driven. And I got that impression with the base B58 inline-6 powertrain, so you can imagine how good the S68 powered M60 version of this might be. So overall, well done BMW. And thanks again to our friends at International BMW for letting us have a go. We'll see you in the next one.